This is the Nothing Phone 1, which is easily the most hyped smartphone of the year, and for good reason, since this phone is very different. And it actually starts off right with a box, where instead of the normal layout, you get these two slots. One of them has the accessories, which includes a unique looking SIM tool, a USB-C cable, and documentation. And then in the other slot, of course, is the smartphone itself. And this is where the Nothing Phone 1 really stands out, with a fully transparent back that has an array of LEDs underneath it. Now, these LEDs, or what Nothing is calling glyph lights, aren't just there to look cool, although I do think that's kind of like the main purpose, but they also have some functionality to them as well. So one of the features, it isn't available in all countries. So if you're in the US like I am, you'll have to import it, and even then it might not work perfectly with your carrier. But if you are in a country where it's available, it's definitely a mid-range phone worth considering. It just looks so much better than any other phone on the market. So overall, I really like this phone. In fact, the biggest downside right now to me is, but of course, what really separates this phone from the pack is its design. Sure, it kind of looks like an iPhone from certain angles, I'm not gonna lie, but on the back, and then the software experience on here is pure clean Android, which I like since, there's no pre-installed apps that you have to uninstall or disable. Since you do get a 120 Hz refresh rate, so everything feels buttery smooth, and it has perfectly symmetrical bezels on the front, which I absolutely love. Although you do get IP53, which is just okay. But despite not being priced like a flagship phone, the Nothing Phone 1 does still kind of feel like one, which is just okay. You get two cameras on the back, which are just okay in quality, and you also miss out on other flagship level stuff like IP68, water, and dust resistance. Instead, it comes in at around $475, meaning you're not gonna get all of the best specs. For example, it's got the older Snapdragon 778 chip. This isn't necessarily the most useful feature, but man, is it cool. Okay, but what about the rest of the phone? Well, I think it's important to note that this phone isn't a $1,000 flagship, but maybe my favorite feature with the whole glyph light thing is one that's hidden in the phone, where you actually have to unlock it by adding a contact named Abra to your contact book, which unlocks this music visualization feature, where any audio coming out of the speakers, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify, will have an accompanying light show, although not much for anything else. And then there's even this little red light that flashes to let other people know when you're recording a video, although you can turn this feature off if you want. All of the LEDs light up in sync, which kind of makes the assistant feel like it's more alive. It's pretty cool. In the camera app, the LEDs also act as a fill light, which can be kind of useful for close-up shots in the dark. And speaking of charging, the bottom LED here can actually act as a little charge meter, where it shows you how charged the battery is while it's plugged in. Another integration is with the Google Assistant, where when you say "Hey Wake Word," the phone lights up and that little bottom LED moves as you're talking, and then when the Google Assistant is talking. But beyond notifications, the LEDs also let you know when reverse wireless charging is working, like if you were to put headphones on the back to charge them, and then it'll only notify you using the LEDs. And just to help you confirm that the phone is indeed on silent, it pulses twice to let you know that the mode is activated. Is when you get a call or a message, the LEDs can light up in sync with the ringtone. Nothing's included a bunch of ringtones that you can choose from, and you can set different ringtones to different contacts, so that way you can quickly tell who's who. But maybe more useful than the ringtones is the flip to glyph feature, where when you set the phone face down on a table, it'll automatically set the ringer to silent.